many strange things about the World Cup that even though I'm not a soccer fan, I just can't help but pay attention. But it's not the games themselves, it's the symbolism, it's the timing, it's the astrology. I don't even know where to start. For example, let's talk about the EA Sports simulation. Have you heard about this? Since 2010, EA Sports has run a simulation through their game. The last 4 World Cups, they've predicted the correct winner. Spain in 2010, Germany in 2014, France in 2018, and Argentina in 2022. And they picked Messi to get the golden ball, though I suppose that would be kind of obvious. And a lot of people feel like the sporting events are scripted. It's hard to ignore that sometimes, because there's obviously a lot of money to be made if the right teams make it. In 2024, 39 leagues from 33 countries filed a dispute with the European Commission, complaining about the bloated corporate structure and expansion of the FIFA World Cup. They were expressing their concern about this just being a big money grab and not focused on the players' well-being or just the beauty of the game. And speaking of 39, that's the number of days from the first day to the last day of this World Cup series. And there are 5 days of rest, meaning that there's 33 active game days before the World Cup final on July 19th, which just happens to be another busy date astrologically. The other very active day, of course, is the 4th of July, how convenient, when Mars conjoins Uranus that morning. And what does that conjunction symbolize? Well, sudden explosive energy, impulse, disruption, change, revolution. What an appropriate energy to have on the 250th anniversary of America while these games are being played out. And if we go back a bit further to 1970, that's a major year not only for FIFA and the World Cup, but for the world. There was the Nixon shock, where we had just printed so much money for the Vietnam War that we decided we don't have enough gold reserves and we just need to lift the gold standard. That officially took place in 1971, the same year that the Nike brand was officially registered. And I don't think most people realize just how significant that event was and how that shaped the global economy forever. This World Cup just feels different. For everything that's happening in the world, it feels different. And I know that I'm not alone in that. It feels like a significant year. That's all I can say. And while the world watches their favorite teams duke it out on US soil, something else is quietly being deployed in the background. In these major cities, surveillance tracking technology is being rolled out protest-free in the name of security and safety because of the boost in tourism. And while our attention is diverted here at the sporting events, and here at the politics, and here at the global conflicts, we cannot organize collectively in thought. So for those of you more concerned about the Messi-Ronaldo reunion, I think it's time you rethink your priorities. You're being distracted by bread and circuses, and you are not ready for what's coming.
All right, my friends. Hope you guys are doing fine today. So, good morning from Japan. Welcome to the show. Shout out to all my good friends here. And all of you guys here, Matthew, Hakim, my friend Yuko. Yuko, I know you've been rocking in Kyoto. We've been having a couple of uh, seismic, seismic um movements here, a lot of earthquakes in Japan lately and the whole Asia. So we'll be talking about that. Why did I play this video about the World Cup in the beginning? Well, because, well, number one, it's not over yet. They still have more things prepared. Not, who knows what? Last Friday, even though we had all this earthquake and everything, they, the players, they keep displaying their allegiance. This is not uniform or World Cup uniform, but you can see the players. They are paying allegiance to the Baphomet statue right here, this little boy. They pose just like him. Google Brazil is still displayed an ad showing perhaps they are showing who is behind this whole fake staged alien invasion stuff. This was Saturday, this past Saturday. They were running this ad in Brazil. You see who is coming out of the spaceship in the middle of the soccer field. And, June 24, very important year in Freemasonry. We did covered this last week. How June 24 is recognized as the birth of modern speculative Freemasonry. The Masonic elections that happened on June 24, and on June 24, 1947, when American businessman and pilot Kenneth Arnold made the first widely publicized UFO sightings in U.S. history, an event that birthed the term flying saucer. So, why is this date so important? Well, actually, a lot of things that I learned, for example, I have a master's degree in earth science, emergency management. We studied all about earth composition, all that stuff. And all my life, I heard that earthquakes cannot be predicted. I believe Kevin Bobick, shout out to Kevin Bobick, he also has a degree in earth science. Believe he learned just like myself, that earthquakes are caused by the lava, in the middle of the ball earth and the plates moving. But I actually have come to the conclusion, and that's not now. When I read the hagiography documents, there are several instances in that document that shows that the alignment of the planets, by the alignment of the planets, so-called planets, the wandering stars, they knew what activities were going to happen. So they know that in advance. They can tell. And I'm going to show you today that uh, earthquakes has nothing to do with whatever is inside the earth. It's really coming from the above. So at the moment of that game on June 24th, the Brazil and Scotland game, uh, the earthquake happened in Venezuela. So I will show you this. This was in Brazil, while people, and that was not only in Venezuela, this is actually in Brazil. People were recording how all the activities going on. You see the guy here, they were wearing all jerseys, they were watching the game, and some of them came out of their houses. Look at here on the streets because the earth was shaking. Of course, the worst was in Venezuela, but not only Venezuela, uh, El Salvador, Peru, they all had the this earthquake. Now, this was in Venezuela while they were watching the game. You can see here what went on.
Amarelo y se está cayendo esta mierda. Mierda.
So you see there, they were watching the game when this earthquake happened. So it seems like they knew exactly the time that the earthquake was going to hit. So shout out to I Stayed Flat Earth. He has a website where he dedicates only to seismic, earthquake and stuff, and he projects that onto a azimuthal equidistance projection or the flat Earth map. See here, 24th and 25th, all the earthquakes that struck that day, all across the flat Earth. So he does have his YouTube website. All the seismic, action, whatever happens as far as earthquake, weather related, he projects them onto a flat Earth map. Pretty cool. So shout out to my friend Michael Smith. Uh, it's been really helpful to my health wise. So he sent me a video. This is the Turkey earthquake in 2023, how this strange cloud formation, and they observed the same thing in Venezuela. now in June 24th, they observe almost like the same kind of formation in the sky. This is Venezuela, and then you see the earthquake. And I think this is a video about it. You see there the quake, the victims, and that cloud, strange cloud in the sky, right? So, is it man-made? Is the cause of this earthquake man-made, or perhaps it's being enhanced? Like they know what was going on and they enhanced. Well, there are two. I am not. I'm not think. I don't think anymore that earthquakes are 100% man-made, and I will explain here today. So this is still the cloud there, weird formation. And a lot of people think that this is man-made because this is the plan for the US, from Canada all the way to Venezuela. They plan to have one super country covering Central America, parts of South America, and the entire North America, and Greenland, of course. That's, it's called the Technate of America. So, but why don't I believe this as anymore? Well, I'll explain why. They seem to know exactly when this earthquake was going to hit. So, according to this magazine, it's a very famous magazine, The Economist. They had a cup of wine in there, and for some of you who don't know, Venezuela is known as the El Vino Tinto, because of the color. That's how their uniform. Let me show you. Here's the next image. So in this cover of this magazine, The Economist, they have here in June a, uh, a like a glass of wine or something being spilled, right? So that's what they say. And even you see David Beckham, 2 minutes before the earthquake, he was drinking wine while watching the soccer match, Scotland against Brazil. And here you see the video. You see why they call Venezuela El Vino Tinto. It's the color of that country, just like red, white, and blue in the US. So at the same time, he was drinking his wine there 2 minutes before the earthquake struck. They were celebrating, and you see there they spilled wine on the cover of the magazine. So how do they know that this earthquake was going to hit at the same time, at the exact time, at the game time? Well, there are two ways. You might think that they have programmed that harp or whatever, or it's in the alignment of the planets or the so-called planets because they are really wandering stars. Now, if you go like this is the hagiographies, document stories of the saints. There's one. There are several ones that talks about earthquakes there, but just gonna read this one. It says from Liber Preparationes contra Antichristi Adventum, Bibliotheca Mazarin 602. This is I don't know when exactly. I forgot when this was published, but it's in the Vatican Library. As the millennium of Satan's binding nears its completion, calculated as 1536-1540 AD, of course, this is based on the fake calendar. The Council of Transformed Saints has established protocols for the final gathering. 7 warning signs shall precede the enemy's release. Unusual celestial alignments, waters receding for certain coasts, mountains shifting position, dormant volcanoes awakening, widespread aurora visible even in southern regions, certain animals migrating northward in mass, and dreams simultaneously experienced by the faithful worldwide. Upon observing these signs, believers are instructed to follow specific routes marked by monuments erected throughout the millennium, leading to gathering points where the transformed ones will provide transportation to the northern sanctuary. So this is we that now have adopted the eschatology called Satan's little season. Everybody believed happened at the time of release of Satan. So they know through the alignment of the wandering stars, so-called planets, the things that are going to happen here on Earth. Now, as I said, in emergency management or science, I learned that earthquakes cannot be predicted. Here you see the USGS. It says, can you predict earthquakes? No, neither the USGS nor any other scientists have ever predicted a major earthquake. NASA has the same thing, but I went to their website. I could not find that anymore. I guess they took it down because I think they know it's not true. Why? Well, there is a website. There's a website, and let me share here with you guys real quick. This website here is called Solar System Geometry Survey. Unfortunately, they use the heliocentric model. They could use the flat Earth model, because all they do is to see the activities of the stars and the alignment of the so-called planets, and they know the effects that's going to be on Earth. So on the 24th of January, they actually published 27 minutes before the earthquake struck, they issue a warning, an earthquake warning to Venezuela, to the region. Was not given to them, of course, is not passed along. But one thing that I skipped here is that the U.S. on May the 23rd of May, they conducted a evacuation drill for the earthquake in Venezuela. Okay, it's there in the news. You can see it's still online. On May 21st, it was reported that on the 23rd of May, the U.S. was going to have their personnel, their embassies, and all their representatives conducting an earthquake drill because they knew the earthquake was coming. So it's possible to predict by the alignment of the planets, right? So I'm going to play a video from this guy from June 19th, where he talks about the coming earthquakes. So take a listen at this.
Welcome to a new planetary and seismic update. This is going to be a short update because it's very warm in here. We could say it's hot and the airco is not working, so this is going to be a pretty short update. Okay, let's have a look at the seismic activity that we had in the previous time frame. We had a cluster of stronger earthquakes with the lunar peaks here on the 9th and on the 10th. And then we had this arc with Mercury at the right angle, stationary because it happened 2 times here. And with those lunar peaks and that arc, nothing really happened. This is very interesting. So we had these lunar peaks, and I did anticipate stronger seismic activity here, especially around the 14th. But nothing happened at the time of this right angle geometry arc with Mercury. The seismic increase happened when the Venus lined up with the Sun. After Venus lined up with the Sun and Neptune at the time of new moon here, and then at the end of this arc, this right angle geometry with Mercury, that's where the seismic increase then happened. So this has been very quiet here, and all happened at the end. And this is not just some seismic increases, not just some temporal clustering. We had 3 magnitude 6 earthquakes, actually 4. Mindanao 6.2 could be considered an aftershock, but the timing is interesting. 6.7 Sulawesi, Indonesia, 6.3 northern Qinghai, China, and then a 6.6 on the Mid-Atlantic Ridge here on the 17th. So we had 4 magnitude 6 earthquakes in just 3 days. This is way, way above average. The typical temporal clustering of stronger earthquakes in unrelated faults. Very interesting. Okay, let's have a look at the coming time frame here. We have Venus, Sun, Saturn. That was yesterday on its own. Well, I don't think it's going to do much. We have 2 lunar peaks, could trigger some seismic increase, I think. This is today here on the 19th. This is semi-right angle geometry of the moon, and also here on the 20th. It may not be all that much. Then we have some convergence here on the 22nd, 23rd. This is Venus, Mars, Jupiter at the right angle. Not probably not critical. Moon Earth Saturn in an opposition, and also Moon Earth Neptune in an opposition, that could trigger increased seismic activity, especially here around the 23rd. Then we have Mercury Sun Uranus on the 25th, followed by a high lunar peak, because we have an opposition with Mars and also with Uranus, and that could also trigger increased seismic activity, possibly even into the 6 magnitude range around the 27th, maybe 28th if it arrives a bit late.
Okay, so there you see it. This guy is not an astrologer. This is a website related to activity. They call it solar system because they project this into the heliocentric model. I believe, some of, especially this new website that displays the flat Earth model, they could get some of this data and do the same thing, it would be great. But you can see, and some of the pages like this, I think is right here. You see the 24th, and between the 24th and 25th, you see all the major earthquakes that happened. The Venezuela, 2 times Venezuela, 7.5, 7.2, in Northern California, here in Japan. Everything was predicted. And 27 minutes before the earthquake hit Venezuela, they issued an alarm. They did. So he goes online once a week. He does the video, but the website is updated every day. Sometimes I think every hour they have new things coming up. Current time right here. So it's called the Solar System Geometry Survey. If you are interested, I can share the link. Is pretty easy. It's this one right here, .org. But yeah, so can you imagine, like, these people? They say that billionaires consult their bank advisors, but the billionaires, they consult the astrologers, because some of them, I'm not gonna say all of them, but, and I'm not endorsing any, the Bible states that we should not consult in the stars or worshiping, but not, maybe perhaps not consulting, but the stars are given for time and signs as well, So we should not be worshiping the stars, the luminaries, but we could use them to benefit us because they're giving for signs and for the times. So I have changed completely my perception on this. I learned that earthquakes could not be predicted, and now, as someone who has a master's degree in earth science, I call that BS. I think that earthquakes are, and I just confirmed that. I started thinking when I first read the hagiography documents, and I saw all the reference there, talking about the alignments of the so-called planets, and that cause earthquakes. So I don't think those activities come from the center of the Earth at all. It's influenced by the stars and magnetism, but nothing to do with lava or things like that. So they know, these guys, the elite know, they know exactly when. That's why they were celebrating, drinking wine at the moment of the earthquake. They knew exactly, and it doesn't really make sense on the heliocentric model, because if you look at the heliocentric model, I think it has a picture here. Let me see, because let me share this with you. Okay. And this is still from their website, the solar system. It's called the Solar System Geometry Survey. Again, all these things could be projected onto the flat Earth model. If you think, like here, they have the sun really close to Earth, this giant Earth. But we know that according to the heliocentric model, the sun is 93 million miles away. And Venus like million light years away. So there's no way those planets could pinpoint influence the GP. If you know the GP, the geographic position on Earth, it's impossible that something that 1 billion, I don't know how many light years away, million light years away, could influence and pinpoint exact location on Earth. It does not make any sense. But a local sun, a local moon, and the local stars, just like we observe, yes, it could definitely pinpoint and influence in one specific location. It makes total sense on a flat Earth with a small luminaries close, not distant, perhaps 100 kilometers or 80 miles above. I don't know. Just saying they are close. Not exactly how close they are, but they are pretty close. So it doesn't really make sense on the heliocentric model, but if you transform everything on the flat Earth model, it's just like you cannot, like you drive 2 hours. If I fly, like it's warm here, but if I go north for another 2 hours, it's gonna feel colder. You know why? Because the source of the heat is close. On the heliocentric model, it doesn't make any sense being 93 million miles away, right? So there's still more to come on this World Cup, and definitely the let me share more because I want to start talking about more about the little season. But if you go through the hagiography documents, you're gonna see like all those lands that used to exist, and they were advised beforehand that those were going to disappear. You know why? It says that on the hagiography documents by the signs, the planets, the so-called planets, the earthquakes they had, some of the islands disappeared. They went back down. You see here this entire land here, the whole thing shifted in the 1500s. You know, 1500. This is based on the before the 1500s, how the land was, you know, and the entire. Uh, this is the Urbano Monte map. The entire Urbano Monte map is a map based before the 1500s. So why is this important? Well, you have here a list of earthquakes. This is in the 1500s. Well, that's based on the fake calendar anyway. But in the 1500s, everything like changed after those earthquakes. The how the earth looked, and my opinion is that there was only one kind of climate all over the earth during the Millennium Kingdom. That's why on the Urbano Monte map. I don't want to open the map here. It's kind of big. But on the Urbano Monte map, you see all those lands with no snow, either in the North Pole or around Antarctica. So in the 1500s, you have a list of changed everything, earthquakes that changed everything. And then in the 1700s, again, we have the Cascade earthquake, 9.2 terrible earthquake that was recorded here in Japan. All this, the one that destroyed Lisbon. Lisbon was pretty powerful. You know, they had Portugal was pretty powerful until from the 1400s to the 1700s, and then everything changed. All right, so let me check I've been talking for a while. Let me check the chat a little bit. So I hope you guys are doing fine. Welcome to the show if you're joining us now. So a couple of uh, love inside the ball is hilarious. Yes, no love. Everything is the stars are the ones that really has a lot of influence, and not as much as what's inside the earth. Four pillars. All right, so I think we're okay here in the chat. So are we gonna have a staged alien invasion? Well, as I said, even TikTok is still having those ads showing the spacecraft landing in the middle of a soccer game. Do we know for sure? We don't know. We don't know how they're gonna do that. If they're gonna use Hillary Clinton said you should never waste a crisis or an opportunity like that. So they're using a lot of Freemasonic signs, and you can see like a lot of Masonic things. I've never seen the opening of a World Cup, that big guy in the middle, the way they form the flags. And I've watched the World Cup since I was a kid. But this time they have like in the center. If you look from the top, it's really like the all-seeing eye in the middle of the field. I'm gonna play the first song for today, and then we move on to talk a bit about the little season. So I picked this song here. That's not a new song from 2016, I believe. Let's listen to this B.O.B. song.
I have two brief questions I'd like to ask, if I may. When you were carrying out that incredible moonwalk, did you find that the surface was equally firm anywhere, or were there harder and softer spots that you could detect? And secondly, when you looked up at the sky, could you actually see the stars and the solar corona in spite of the glare?
We were never able to see stars from the lunar surface or on the daylight side of the moon by eye without looking through the optics. I don't recall during the period of time that we were photographing the solar corona what stars we could see.
I don't remember seeing anything.
9 steps are what you take, walking on the moon. I hope my legs don't break, walking on.
This time I'd like to introduce the Apollo 11 crew, astronauts Neil Armstrong, Michael Collins, Edwin Aldrin.
Bob, what the hell you doing? What the fuck does Stanley Kubrick have to do with astronauts and movement? Who the hell you fooling? Fuck you and this whole stupid flat earth movement. Well, you don't like assuming if it's science proven. You a college student, shouldn't be assuming green screen, soundstage, soundproofing. Time to film a movie shoot. Gotta use my tools in a glass case, astronaut suit, footprint, don't match the boot. Been to the moon once and ain't been back since. And I'm just trying to figure out where the tax dollars went. NASA.
You want me to knock you in the head? Well, I want you to swear to God on the Bible that you walked on the moon. Okay. If you walked on the moon, we're given the opportunity to swear to God that you walked on the moon.
I'm going to give you the opportunity to get the hell knocked out of you so nobody can get along.
Tomorrow, another day, Tuesday, walking on.
Collaborate yourself and get the fuck out.
Not a huge fan of the award for the best rapper, but they give the Moon Man award to the best actor. Guess we must go straight to the source. Let's ask NASA. How do you explain the occurrence of lunar waves? Why do we only see one half of the lunar face? How do you explain air bubbles you view in space? Why is it so important to lie to the human race? Million-mile internet that travels light years, but they can show a space shuttle re-enter the atmosphere. Okay, to blast off, you gotta practice Freemasonry, an acronym that stands for not a space agency.
Some may say, I'm wishing my days away. No way, and if it's the price I pay, some say, tomorrow's another day. You stay, walking on the moon.
Now put your hand on the Bible. Swear to God you walked on the moon.
Mr. Cybro, knowing you, that's probably a fake Bible.
All right, that was a great song. I enjoyed that song. It's a B.O.B. song, and he used the song by the Police, and it turned out pretty good. So I want to shout out here. I saw To Earth Whisper here. I enjoy so much your interview with the pilot. So thanks for being here. Tell me you're in the house too. So many good people. I like this comment here. Is it possible that the fallen angels know exactly when stuff like this is going to happen? They are putting the strings. I believe so. They know exactly. And they, of course, the stars are there for dates, years, and signs. And we don't know because we have been hidden they like I learned in college and that earthquakes cannot be predicted at all. Even I showed the website NASA when in fact we can. So they teach the opposite. It's possible to know, and they know how, they know when. They don't share this truth with us, but they know exactly when those things are going to happen. So as I was saying, shout out to True Earth Whisper. I do have another interview with another pilot, and I want you guys to share it. It's called Pilot of 40 Years Confirms the Earth is Flat. It's an excellent interview, and just share with people. I think it's being a bit shadow banned because I normally get a lot of comments in videos like these. For 20, almost, I don't know how long, it's been a while, but I had only 20 something comments. I found like, oh, that's weird. What's going on? Globers would jump on and, start defending their ball. That no comments at all. So I think it's being shadow banned. But it's called Pilot 40 Years Confirms the Earth is Flat. And I have the one there here, voiced by the cockpit. And again, I want to call out Josh. To me, I mean, was a fake flat earther, just an infiltrator. I don't have the whole 2 hours interview where he was surrendering to the glober, to the atheist there, almost kissing the ball earth. And but at one point, he criticizes flat earthers a lot in that interview, and he's saying like, "Oh, flat earthers only talk about flat earth. The Bible tells us to preach the gospel, blah blah blah, all that stuff." And he's going to Punta Arenas. What's he doing there? Why is he not preaching the gospel? Why didn't he not preach the gospel to the atheist? He was there for 2 hours. He could have reached, hundreds of people, spreading the message right there. God gave him an opportunity, but he used for Satan. So one more reason for me to believe Josh is really, working for the New World Order. Anyone who pushes the heliocentric model is working for Satan. So he exposed himself really bad, and he's still lying, saying that the money is for an experiment when there is no experiment. It's just an observation. Why doesn't he use the money and help the victims in Venezuela? Like there's a lady on TikTok. She shows the receipt. People send her money and she buys Bibles and she distributes and she shows the boxes of Bibles that she used the money for, and she opens them up in video and she goes and she hands out those Bibles. Right? And Josh Monday, what a hypocrite, talking that flat earthers don't just talk about flat earth and not the Bible. But this is a flat earth channel, and he is he calls himself a biblical cosmology, and yet he is taking part of an event that's going to promote the satanic heliocentric model. And, hypocrite. I call him out. He's an hypocrite, and he works with the people who is pushing the lie, the heliocentric model. And I uploaded a video where Jaron revealed the method exactly back in 2019. And another thing that he did, you see what a plant this guy was, the same, he had this whole video, the Mars in Devon in Canada. He was, how did he find it? Well, because he was told where it was. So a couple of videos there you can share. But this one here, the pilot interview, it's been a great interview. All right, pilot 40 years confirms the Earth is flat. The good point about this video is that the pilot is a Christian pilot. So he says something that's really important. He says, well, I don't make my Bible fit science. I make science fit my Bible. And that's how you should do, Bible first, and then you make science fit the Bible. If it doesn't fit, it's because it's not true. That's how it is. Okay, so let's talk about the little season. let's first, I'm gonna add this video here. Let me go back. The computer is being slow today. Don't know if it's making any upload, like it's upgrading in the background or something. Don't know what's going on. It's been really slow. So let me add this video here, and we will go from there. It's about the fake history. So much evidence that our history is fake. So let's listen to this guy.
German historian Herbert Illig and a few colleagues proposed a radical idea. We aren't living in the 21st century. We're actually living in the 18th century. This is called the phantom time hypothesis, which says that back in 1000 AD, there was a conspiracy between the church and the Holy Roman Emperor to change the calendar. The years 614 through 911 were completely made up. Those 300 years just didn't happen. So all that history you learned about Charlemagne and the Middle Ages, completely fabricated. In fact, Illig says that Charlemagne was specifically designed as propaganda to support the calendar change, to give the emperor and the pope more power. Let's look at the calendar and see if we can figure out what the heck is going on with phantom time. So why do we even use the calendar we do? Throughout most of human history, different cultures used different calendars. Some were based on seasons, some on the sun, some on the moon, some were just arbitrary. Now, as the Romans gobbled up more territory, these different calendars made commerce complicated. So in 45 BCE, Julius Caesar proposed a standard calendar to be used by the empire. The Julian calendar was based on a tropical year, also known as a solar year. And a year was 365.25 days with leap years. But a solar year is actually a little shorter than they thought. It's really 365.24219 days. That's a difference of 11 minutes. Now, 11 minutes is...
All right, I'm just pausing there for a minute. This guy, I think he has a YouTube channel. I don't know. I got this video from TikTok. And but again, even the story that he's telling might not be true. This excuse for changing the calendar, Julian. We don't know if it's true or not because this information was given to us by the owners of this place, by the elite, by the controllers.
Isn't much, but the Julian calendar was losing a full day every 128 years. And after 1500 years, the slippage was noticeable. Now, the church really liked Easter to land on March 21st, the spring equinox. But in the 1500s, Easter was landing around March 11th. This irritated Pope Gregory. The church announced the change. A year would be 365 days, with an extra day added to every year divisible by 4, and a few other rules to keep things in sync, but that's the gist. So in 1582, the Gregorian calendar was adopted and 10 of the lost days were added back to the calendar. You went to bed on October 4th and woke up on October 15th. And that's where we've been ever since. But wait a minute, losing a...
All right, so he goes on, but the point is that this guy in particular, this researcher, believes these phantom years, 300 years. Well, but there are other researchers and they push for even longer periods of time, some 700 and some up to 1000 years, like the German, I think his name is, what's his name again? Hagen? I have it here. I have this video here. It's called Gunnar Hansson. Okay, Gunnar Hansson. Yes, that's Gunnar Hansson. And this website talks about the little season. And he goes on, Gunnar Hansson saw an additional time in our chronologies. So he points out that some of these emperors, they were successors of each other. They did not live like 300, 400 years apart, but they were like immediate successor from each other. So there are a total of, oops, I thought I was sharing it's this one here, okay? Gunnar Hansson. Gunnar Hansson saw an additional time in our chronologies. So he is really good. He has studied this for over 30 years, several videos. You can find him on YouTube. He passed away, I believe, in 2024, but he has a lot of information out there showing how these emperors they were successors of each other, not that they lived like 300 years apart, but they were like just successors from each other. So if 1,000 years have been added, a lot of fake things have been created. Like this guy says that uh, Charlemagne might never have existed. And if you listen to this is a Catholic. I think he's a cardinal or something, some sort. Listen what he has to say about Napoleon. It makes you think about a lot of those people never existed. They are just made up. So we believe in fake history. And I have one very important video. This is, I think, is the most one that we're gonna watch now. Look at this 1880 Bible has a chronology of times, but observes that they have 900 years of missing history. Now we have seen that they call the Dark Ages, the 1,000 years of unrecorded history. So why are they hiding 1,000 years in history? Why are they making, stretching, creating characters, trying to fill out 1,000 years of history with fake characters, with fake books? Everything was written after the so-called 1500s anyway. Have no records of that stuff. So take a listen at this video of the 1880 Bible.
Okay, so I'm back in the 1880 Bible. And this is a parallel Bible. Parallel edition. So like King James Version on one side, Hebrew on one side, and then in the back it's King James Version and Greek. If that makes sense. But what I'm talking about today is not actually in that section of the Bible. This is called the Department of Reference, Part 2. And this is Jewish history. And it goes all the way back from 181 BC. As you can see, it goes all the way down. There's 12. And then it goes all the way down to AD. And then it starts at 1, and then the numbers go up. So as I'm reading through all of these events in history, I'm noticing when you get over here, keep in mind this is AD. You get over here to 136, and from 136 to 1078, there's a huge gap. That's 942 years for anyone who doesn't want to do the math. This right here states the events of Gentile history from AD 136 to 1078 are of the highest importance. The chief are the persecution and final triumph of Christianity, the downfall of the Roman Empire, the civilization of Europe, and the establishment of the age of chivalry. So something that is the highest importance has no information. 940 years of no information here. More than 5,000 of this put to the sword, final desolation of Judea. They were forbidden to return to the holy city. Final dispersion of them. During this time, they are scattered over the face of the earth in the eastern countries. They are generally well treated. In Europe, they are sometimes persecuted and sometimes well treated. And then here in 1078, they first settle in England. A lot of people believe this is the gap that would begin with a 1 and it has 3 zeros behind it. That long of a gap. So what I'm trying to say is the 1 and 3 0 reign could this be it right here?
Much information right there. She cannot say because TikTok sometimes takes down videos talking about the Millennium Kingdom. So she has to say like 1030 time. But I took a screenshot of that passage right there. So let's look at it this together, So 1000 years, guys. Just that they uh, don't have anything happening. You have all this year by year, but 1000 year from 136 to 1078, nothing, nothing, nothing. If you look the Bible, they have everything from BC up to this time, and then from 136 AD to 1078, no information. The events of the entire history from AD 138 to 1078 have the highest importance. The chief are the persecution and final triumph of Christianity, the downfall of the Roman Empire, the civilization of Europe, establishment of the age of chivalry. So 1,000 years, right there, that's just being erased. And I have to, as I said, I don't follow Jay Dyer. Like what I know about him is like I see some TikTok shorts of him. So I don't know much. Some people say that he is establishment, he is New World Order, might be. But one thing he said is like how the Romans, how the science, how the British and the Roman Catholic Church, their universities, they skip these 1,000 years and they go back to they skip the whole Byzantine Empire. No, they don't study. They don't say anything that all the benefits that came to exist during the Byzantine Empire, like hospitals, orphanages, and sciences and advancement in so many fields. They ignore and they go back. They skip 1,000 years and they start teaching like the Greek philosophers, philosophy, and all the classic Greek and stuff. So they skip 1,000 years and they go back to AD, first perhaps first century AD to BC. They skip on purpose. So the 1,000 years are being hidden, and we gotta understand that there's a reason for that, because that's my opinion, the Millennium Kingdom, and it's being severely hidden, like if this is the right adjective to use for that. They hid it. It's pretty clear that it's there, but it's been hidden from us. So going back here, I showed this a couple of days ago. You see here the Millennium Kingdom, and if you go to secular timelines, they have here, they call the medieval times, laws of democracy, that's what they call, or 1,000 years here, they call the medieval from 476, they give, and they throw that this time here, nothing happened, only after the age of discovery, Reformation, Enlightenment, Renaissance. So they really hide the millennium kingdom of Christ. They do it. And in my opinion, it's in the past. It happened. We are living in Satan's little season right now. This is talking about the floating city or the heavenly Jerusalem. They're still publishing news about these three hiatus. This is just from this week, June 22nd. Web finds clues to ancient origins of comet. They call it a comet. Something's up there. They've been tracking. Now they've been tracking, and so my opinion is this. What they're gonna do, this whole staged alien invasion, is like they will. The good guy, the bad guys are going to present themselves as the good guys. Just like we saw in the movie Tomorrow Wars. The guys arrive and say, well, we are here to prepare you because something bad's going to happen. Bad people are going to invade your planet. So we are here to help you. So the whole idea of the fake staged alien agenda is like some of these fallen angels are going to reveal themselves, portraying themselves as being the good guys to prepare for something that's coming later. So what's coming later? Perhaps the New Jerusalem that's going to land in its rightful place in the center of the Earth or the North Pole. So it could be, that's the reason they are preparing us, for something like that. So we are speculating: is there a celestial Jerusalem? Well, even kids' books. This is like a kid's story. Talks about this celestial city. There is a floating city. A little girl was playing on a high green hill. Now let me play this here. Suddenly, a glowing paper kite floated down from the clouds and landed near her feet. When she picked it up, a gentle but powerful gust of wind wrapped around her. To her amazement, the kite lifted her higher and higher into the blue sky. She soared through white clouds, felt the softest cotton candy, and there she sees above the clouds she discovered a breathtaking secret, a floating city made of white stone and waterfalls. So that's the story goes on. So is there a floating city up there? Is the New Jerusalem? Is Three Eye Atlas the New Jerusalem that's being, floating? We don't know. I mean, if it is, we are the cattle. We are being kept, in these walled places where you cannot go and explore or see anything. We are just contained in our own countries, sometimes even regions. Just saw a video now on. Let me just show you guys here. It's about Canada. Canada. It's a lot of good people there, but seems like they are preventing people from leaving. And the name of the video is like, just watch it. It's in my history. It's right here. So I was watching this the other day. You can't leave Canada. This one right here. Canadians exit taxes, leaving people speechless. So the name of the video here is like, you can't leave Canada. And he goes like, they are making possible, discouraging people into from trying to, it's right here somewhere. Yeah, you can't leave Canada, right there, the top one. And we are pretty much confined in our own quarters, countries, boundaries. Very difficult for us to do anything. And besides that, the financial strain put onto us, with low wages, you make very little money, you cannot plan anything, and now traveling is so expensive. So that's my take on this. We have the fake calendar that really hides 1,000 years of history. And that's my idea, that they are doing this on purpose so we cannot figure out what the true history is. And of course, they bombard us with fake history, fake books, fake everything, right? So this website's pretty good. If you want me to share, I can share with you. It's about everything about the little season. And it's called Matthew's Bible and William Tyndale. We are in Satan's little season, following the millennial reign of Jesus Christ. Got a whole bunch of Bible verses. Revelation 1:1, the revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave into him for to show unto his servants which things which must shortly come to pass. The time is at hand, Our eyes shall see him, and they also which pierced him. John says, your brother in companion in tribulation. So the tribulation was when John was alive. So many Bible passages here proving that all the things written in the book of Revelation, the prophecies came to be fulfilled in the first century, as we have in the Geneva Bible. I think I should. I think it says right here. So this website is great. Has many resources, and you have the Geneva Bible right here. Around 70 AD, the dragon was bound for 1,000 years. Around 1073, the dragon was let loose after 1,000 years. So all the passages there. And it has the Old English and today's English right here. And this passage in Mark is very important. Very I say to you that this generation shall not pass it till all these things be done. So there is a note there saying that this thing was written, came to pass right here, Luke 21:31. For all these things came within 50 years after. So all these things that Jesus spoke about, so likewise here, when we see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of God is near. So he was talking about the destruction of the temple. So everything came to pass in the very first century. We had, following to that, we had the millennial kingdom. And, now we are, after the millennial kingdom, we are in Satan's little season. How long is this? Well, I was thinking about how little, how short. Some people was asking me, well, if you are, let's say you are 6 feet tall, you see a guy who is 3 feet tall or 4 feet tall, you call him little, short. It doesn't have to be tiny, like a foot tall. Even a 3 feet tall guy or 4 will be called short. So the Satan's little season doesn't mean that's going to be just a couple of years. Even it's like 500 years, like let's say that their fake calendar is right, 1500s to now, maybe if it's 500 years compared to 1,000 years of the millennium, it's still short, So if you're 10 feet tall and you meet a guy who's 5 feet tall, he's a short guy. If you're 10 feet tall, you meet a guy who's 6 feet tall, he's short, he's little, right? All right, let me play another song here. Choose a song. I think I'm gonna play. Trying to find a song here that I really like it, and somehow I lost it. I did lose that game, so I'm just gonna play like Laser Test song.
Turn on the news, it's all a lie. Elites in suits deciding who lives and dies. Gates on stage, smiling wide, talking population like it's genocide. They own the airwaves, control the feed. Big pharma profits while the people bleed. He stood up tall in that headlight glow. 2010, let the whole world know. 6.8 billion headed to 9, but with our shots and health design, we can lower that 10-15%. Didn't say kill, but that's what he meant. Jabs, healthcare, reproductive control, saving the kids, nothing in the soul. Big pharma pockets lined with gold, while we line up doing what we're told. Government pushes the needle deep, media calls us crazy if we speak. Bill Gates wants less of us on this earth, talking to population like it's rebirth. Shots in our arms for profit and gain. Big pharma laughs while we feel the pain. Government lies, media pins the tail. Wake up, fight back, we will not fail. We will not fail. was clear, another wave coming soon. Fauci echoed the tune under the moon. Surprise outbreak, they both prophesied. How they know, cause it's planned inside. Events will now rehearse the fear. Months before the disease appeared. Lock us down, steal our rights away. For control and cash, that's how they play. Big pharma rush the shots to market fast. Billions in profits, side effects masked. Government mandates, no questions asked. Bill Gates wants less of us on this earth. Talking depopulation like it's rebirth. Shots in arms for profit and gain. Big pharma laughs while we feel the pain. Government lies, media spins the tale. Wake up, fight back, we will not fail. We will not fail. They poison the well, then sell the cure. Trauma and fear keep us insecure. Needles and mandates divide and rule, while billionaires watch from their private pool. Media blackouts on the injured cry. Censor the truth, spread the lies. Carrie Mullis, Nobel truth teller, bold inventor of PCR story untold. Before he died in 2019, said loud and clear on the screen, these tests ain't made for diagnosis at all, just amplification, that's the call. Can't tell sick from well, just fragments they find, but they use it to lock down mankind. Convenient time, and he spoke the truth, then gone too soon, no more proof. Megalomaniacs in their ivory towers, playing God with unholy powers. Media puppets repeat the script. Big pharma racing every cent. They traumatize kids, destroy the free, offer their new world tyranny. But we see through the smoke and lies. The people rise, open their eyes. No more chains, no more control. We take back our bodies, our minds, our soul. Gates, Fauci, the whole damn crew. Your game's exposed, we're coming for you. No more fear, no more blind trust. Your empire crumbles into dust. Of us on this earth, talking depopulation like it's rebirth. Shots in arms for profit and gain. Big pharma laughs while we feel the pain. Government lies, media spins the tale. Wake up, fight back, we will prevail. We will prevail. He said it himself. 10 to 15, lower the number, know what I mean. Carry wonders, test for fraud. Rise up now, against the overlords. We won't bow, we won't break. Truth will win, for humanity's sake.
All right, great song there by Laser Test on TikTok. And, we never know what's going to happen this year, 2026. And they are still predicting more of those earthquakes because of what they are seeing in the skies. It has nothing to do with the earth, There's still more alignments to come. And I believe those elites, they pick those events, those festivals, tournaments, whatever, specific dates for some reason to keep us distracted. Of course, they take advantage, they advance their agenda. But who else? What else they have prepared? Trying to find I have heard, some Brazilian TikTokers are posting videos, and I saw one where the guy was reading from the screen. You guys probably know the biddings that the government, sometimes city, states, they want to create a project and they have a public bidding, like whatever company offers the best price, the lowest, the cheapest, they take the job, to build bridges or whatever. So it's circulating some TikTokers that the Brazilian government is placing a bid. They want to order 45 million body bags, cadaver bags, So I'm trying to see whether this information is true or not and why. Well, I'm gonna show you here. See if I can. This is, by the way, I did place the link for the Little Season website, on the chat. Okay, you guys, you're welcome to explore. So this is the Japanese website for earthquakes. You see here, this is today here in Japan is already the 29th. So you see here between yesterday 28th to now, whole bunch of seismic activity, which is uncommon this much, like, so it's very common. One time I was here having class online and the whole thing was shaking. So if you see shaking here someday, it's because it's pretty common here in Japan, but the activity is being more lately. So the thing is, I was here in this website on Friday night because the whole building was shaking, and I was talking to Rick Hinckley, and I was sending him a message. This whole thing is shaking here. You don't even know if you're gonna sleep well. And it was 10:30 at night, and I asked ChatGPT to give me details, and then ChatGPT was saying, "Oh, there's nothing, there's no record of any activity, seismic activity." And I was seeing right there, on this website, but ChatGPT was saying, "No, there's no records." And I kept, talking for almost 30 minutes with ChatGPT, and they said, "No, there's no records of seismic activity in Japan." When I was seeing right there, and we felt. So I did ask ChatGPT about those, if they could find a public announcement or we call, when the government placed the bidding, and ChatGPT says, no, there's not such thing, but I'm still researching more. I want to see if it's true that they are ordering now 45 million body bags. They know something's going to happen. What it is, we don't know. We are always the last ones to know. Sometimes too late, like all those people in Venezuela. It's a lot of them. It's too late, some people knew 2 months ago. They had the drills there, the U.S. embassy. They had on May 23rd, so they knew what's coming, right? But they're not telling us. So I don't know, guys. So let me share here. This is a picture. This is what I was trying to share earlier. I believe during the Millennium Kingdom, my opinion, the Urbano Mountain map is a map of the Millennium, because after in Pangea happened when Jesus returned in the 1st century. That's my opinion. And now the continents were spread out, the islands and everything, and we had a good climate during the Millennium. No seismic activities, nothing like that. And as you see here, this land in Antarctica, you have different kingdoms. So I think some of the saints, they became kings and saints and priestess. They were given some authority over these lands. That's why sometimes you see here, for example, King of Portugal, right here, and these are lands in Antarctica. And then you're going to see the King of Ethiopia, King of Polonia. They were giving authority over parts of these lands around, all right? And those animals were real, and they were before when the Millennium Kingdom was about to end, they departed. They went to other places. I think this is the Prince of, I don't know, some of them are Ethiopia or other countries. So my opinion is this is the map that portrays how the world was during the Millennial Kingdom. And this guy here in Brazil, he printed his face is hidden. So look at how big he printed his Urbano Monte map. Beautiful. Now I did meet with a guy. Shout out to Kevin if he's still watching my show. He's from Taiwan, and one time he's a businessman in the fiber optic, and I met with him several years ago. So the way I met with him, like he was watching my channel, and he said, "I'm coming to Nagoya. I'm going to stay at the Marriott Hotel. So if you have time to meet with me," so yeah, I'm not far from there. I was 22 minutes from there. So we met, and he sent me a picture, and he has a map as big as this one, maybe a little bit smaller. His living room, but that's the Gleason's map. Right, giant. Was the biggest giant Gleason's map I have ever seen. And this guy has a giant Urbana Monte. So I don't know if Rick can print maps this big, but if you want to get a big map, talk to Rick. Go to my website there in the channel. Any of my videos, you're going to see links there to my store. Get in touch with Rick. Rick is the one who's been doing printing the maps. If you want to support the channel, become a Patreon, anything. But just go to my website, maps, and see. Maybe Rick can print, a giant map like that for you. Okay, just send him a message there, and the emails go to him first, and then he sends to me. But this is the website, right? So if you're interested in a giant map, I don't know how big he can print, but maybe he can print giant maps like that. So what else? I want to see if I covered everything today. Sometimes I say, well, I should have said that. So I plan to talk about the earthquakes, about the UFO predictions. Well, I don't know. They are still running. I don't want the lady. I gotta be fair here with her. The lady who was predicting the UFO landing in the middle of the game. She released a video say, well, most people only edit out the part where, that's saying that the part where she said that the aircraft was going to hover above the stadium. But she said they didn't talk about the whole video, because the whole video, she said she talked about the earthquakes that was going to happen on the 24th of June. But she said that they only clipped the part of the UFO activity, which is not ruling out, that still can happen. But I'm not relying on her. And I just want to be fair that she said that the whole video she talks about earthquakes as well. But for some reason, people picked only the parts where she talks about the landing of the spacecraft, and it went viral. But she said that she talks about the earthquakes as well. So this is a video from the early 20th century. You see how the Bolshevik revolution, they target Christians, and that's how they are always targeting Christians, and they target the Orthodox Church, and they really destroyed everything. Imagine how much of a history the saints, the hagiography, they destroyed, like, I think it was like 16,000 or 40,000 churches in the Soviet Union, all the places there. Imagine, everything they destroyed, all the records of the 1,000 years, the Millennium Kingdom, and pretty much forced them to adopt another gospel, fake gospel that support Zionism. And that's why you see all these churches today supporting Zionism. They don't really preach, the truth. Flat Earth, I don't know. Someone asked me to talk to Will, the guy from The Truth is Stranger Than Fiction. We had a conversation 9 years ago. He was asking me questions about Antarctica. And I'm kind of willing to talk to him. But the problem is like when David Wise had that SHIELD meet up, 20 channels defending Jared and Austin, I think he was among them. That was a big red flag for me because he was there defending Jared and Austin when we know the guys were shields from the beginning. All right, so let me check here. Yeah, that's why they persecuted Christians. I saw a meme, very interesting meme. So let me find this image here. Okay, see if I find this meme. It's not a meme actually; it's just an image. You guys remember the beginning of Gospel of Act? I mean, not the Gospel, the Book of Acts. Stephen being stoned to death, right? So let me see if I find this image right here. Okay, I'm gonna pick anyone. There are many here. Let me share this in Google. So this is Stephen being stoned to death right here. Okay, let's pick this image right here. I know if I can make it any bigger. I don't want cookies or anything. Let's see this one here. Okay. All right, let's see this one here. Okay, you see Stephen being stoned to death, right? Stoning of Stephen. So somebody did write like Christian and chosen people, cannot say the word maybe here. See, let's try this image here. Okay, I don't know. This image is not opening. See this one. So you get the idea, okay? Maybe this one here will open. Yeah, so somebody wrote here Christian and chosen people, chosen people, chosen people, chosen people. So you get the idea, why the pastors today, they have to follow a script. If they don't preach what the Boer heliocentric model, and they just don't make it. They can kiss their retirement plan goodbye. Like I saw the Brazilian pastor, he had to make a video apologizing to the Brazilian commission, like a convention, Baptist convention, because the Baptist convention does not endorse flat earth. So he had to make a video, and he's a flat earther pastor. So it's that's why I don't trust. And this guy Will, he's quoting he's trying to go against lyricism, quoting this other guy. So I asked the question, why is he relying on Ball Earth preachers, Ball Earth pastors, to tell you about scatology? Remember Kent Hovind, the dinosaur, the 2,000 years gap that is not really there. All these guys pushing heliocentric model, they also push this futuristic idea. So start right there. All right, guys, I think it's time for us to end the show. We've been going on for an hour, 30 minutes, 90 minutes. That's the goal of the show, for 90 minutes. I hope you do have enjoyed the show today. Try to always bring some information. I do have this excellent video out about the pilot, 40 years. He's been a pilot for 40 years, and he states that the Earth is flat, and he gives excellent this video right there. Check it out, share with friends. Pilot 40 years confirms the Earth is flat. An excellent video, especially for Christian flat earthers. Share, because the pilot is a Christian flat earther. So share, like, share, because this channel is shadow banned greatly. Support the channel if you feel like it, if you like. But anyway, I hope to be back next week. We don't know. I've been telling my friends that my heart has been feeling so fast now because all those shakes, we feel building shaking here and there. So you never know when we're gonna be pancaked. I'm on the second floor. There are 3 more floors above me. You never know, but if the Lord allows me, I'll be back here next week. Thank you very much for each and every one of you. Thank you, brother. I will reach out to you on TikTok. Maybe we can have a conversation. I do enjoy your interview with the pilot so much. I've listened to that interview several times. You did ask excellent questions. You nailed. You did nail. To Christian, my brother, for a lot of you who I haven't, I even saw people from Brazil here. Shout out to all of you. Thank you so very much for you to be here. Yuko, my sister, be safe in Kyoto. I know you're close to Mount Fuji. There's a lot of talk about maybe Mount Fuji is waking up. We don't know. So be safe there. A good big hug to Rick Hinckley. I invited him to be here today, but he was pretty tired. My good friend Dave from Oregon. Thank you so much, brother. And all of you, God bless each and every one of you. Fake history everywhere, fake websites, fake pastors, fake eschatology. So stick to the Geneva Bible. I think it's a very good eschatology right there. So guys, see you next week. May the Lord bless you. See you later. Bye-bye.
Wonderful, magical, celestial light, fantastical, mystical, wonderful sight. Belgian Swiss physicist Auguste Piccard, 1931, first to reach for the stars, was the first to explore the air view stratospherius, a scientist curious to see what was there. An aluminium black ball on a helium balloon, with portholes and instruments, sailed towards the moon, rose in just half an hour, 52,000 feet, 10 miles of depth air pressure, up a dead drop in heat and cold, but disproving gravity. Wonderful, mystical, beautiful sight, flat line separation of black from blue light, a world run by deceivers, false make-believers, hiding in shadows, stealing our light. Mystical, fluorescent light, wonderful, magical, awesome, yes, stealing our light. Wonderful, legendary light, supernatural, eternal, supernatural. Up we go, higher than rainbows, higher than mountains, above cumulonimbus, higher than air, high level horizon, 360 around us, but right round behind us, any height that you dare. The sun and the moon both revolve above around us, to forever short time past intelligently there. You'll never beat us, you'll never defeat us, no more you deceive us, keep the wheel like air. Kipper and Picard were the first ever known to reach up there. Divine luminescent light, mystical, wonderful, celestial light. So what was their eternal testimony? What did they report back to humanity? Said it seemed like a flat disk far as eyes can see, with an upturned edge fading into infinity. A mystical, ethereal, celestial sight, a divine creation, a clockwork of light, designed hid by deceivers and false make-believers, still cowering in shadows, still fearing our light. Here we go, higher than Everest, higher than airplanes, above zero cumulus, higher than air, a level horizon, 360 around us, no motion beneath us, no spinning, no stars on the marble, turn them all around us to forever. the stars, explorers and physicists, Kipper and Picard. Never you'll defeat us, forever beneath us. We see through you like air.